Testing. Right, that works. Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Wednesday, 20th of October. Okay, just a reminder, we still have 2 free days in our live trading room. It's starting this morning. Charlie's actually in the room as I speak, so if you're interested in coming and join us for 2 days, Charlie's doing this morning. I'll be in around about midday, and then I'll be doing tomorrow morning. So you'll get this live tomorrow morning from the room, as I normally do when I'm in the room, and you'll, as I say, still be able to join us. So there is a link on the bottom of this video, below the video. Right. Let's have a look at the markets. Before we look at the markets themselves, I'm just going to have a look at data due out on the calendar today. So let's look at today's calendar. Inflation, where we've just seen inflation coming out, came in slightly up. I don't know why they put it in red. Well, I put it in red because it was lower than forecast, and it's seen negative ahead when it comes in lower than forecast, but it's still pretty high at 3.1%. It's 1.1 over expectation, and it's still shown there's quite some significant inflation sitting there. But yeah, when I look at these inflation figures, you're comparing with a very low bottom when we was still in lockdown, etc. But however, it's still hitting the household, so it's a figure that will be discussed a lot, I'm sure, today. Anyway, how it will affect the pound, not a lot, with it coming in slightly less than expected. Canadian dollar. We have Canadian dollar. We have news inflation there this afternoon. So again, just watch out 130-ish to see what's going on. Expectation, the core figure there, or the main figure for the month there, 0.1 expected. And then at 3:30, if you're trading oil, just be aware today when you're trading oil at 3:30, there's crude oil inventories, which can give it quite a kicker at times. So not a lot of risk there. Looking at where we're sitting at the moment, these markets, let's start off looking at the currencies, looking at euro dollar first. And well, yesterday ended up a bit of shooting star coming into play. It was quite strong. I did wonder how long it would last, but I did think we might just consolidate and push up towards the monthly pivot that's above, or even the 50, just push up a little bit more, continue this bit of correction that we're seeing. At the moment though, okay, it's pre 8 o'clock, and often you see these sort of moves, and the market's moving quite strongly, and then drops back a little bit, and then post 8 o'clock off it goes again. So we'll just see how it shapes up. But it does look to me okay, you put the high lows in here, and it's coming up. But if this starts breaking down below the previous candle there, the midnight candle there, to me it will just suggest it's a bit weaker, and we could see a bit more follow through on that weakness. Okay, so just watching that, looking at an hourly basis, so really we're looking at it breaking the 60-minute 50, and I'll become more bearish. Just as I say, being a bit patient at the moment, just to see how it shapes up. It's quite difficult yesterday when it pushed up like this. It consolidated as expected and pushed up further, but not very far. And as I said, when you see the range already happening, it makes for a difficult trade. There's some potential out of this at some point today. It's just whether it actually how it shows its hand, and whether we can get into the trade. But it looks like that 116,330 area. It's been supported. We've seen support around there yesterday when it came back down to, or yesterday evening when it came down there area. 50 MA might be up there when we get back down there. It'd just be interesting to see whether it gets support again. If it starts breaking through, well, I'll be a bit more bearish on the euro. I am in the bigger picture bearish on the euro, but you know, daily you take what's in front of you. The pound then, looking at the pound, yesterday shot up much stronger and holding on pretty much, well, better say than the euro there. Not a shooting star, but did still have a bit of a correction, and it looks like it again. It's put a lower high in. You see this on the smaller time frame here. There you go. It's already put a lower high, and it looks a bit soft at the moment. So we could see a continuation to the downside here. So just looking, it could run on that way. One thing I didn't look at initially, I should have looked at, was just looking at the yields. Yields are pushed up again here. Look, so they've come off overnight a little bit, but they were pushing up towards the 1.7 area. Now we haven't seen that for months. In fact, I can go back. Well, more than 3 months now. Crikey, it's the earlier part of the year. There we go. When we saw it back in May sort of time, when it was peaking up that sort of area. And if you look back into May and what was happening, well, the dollar was being protected. That started becoming bought quite strongly. So just aware when the yields are getting up this high, it does put the correlation with the dollar is the dollar gets stronger. So just watching for that now, and we're seeing that through these markets. Okay, so lower high, it is erring on the bearish side. It's only 4 minutes to go. It may just hold on where it is, but it has confirmed a lower high and does look softer at the moment. Dollar yen. Dollar yen has continued its upward travels, just pulling back a little at this stage. Again, just a bit of a correction move, but yesterday, and yeah, we're just seeing it once it sold off. It was largely consolidated for a long time, then reversed and pushed back up there. Couldn't hold on to what gains it was making against the US dollar, but again, it's almost correlated with the pound, the euro here. It's sort of looking at potential lower highs at the moment. It's unusual for it to be correlated. It should be inverted, a negative correlation, but at the moment almost looks like a bit of safety, bit of money coming into the yen. Aussie dollar, now the commodities tend to get hit often, but this is holding up quite well at the moment. It's pushed up, it's staying positive, staying above yesterday. However, you come down the time frames, we're going to be ending up with a shooting star. Just the signs of a bit of weakness coming through. It's already hit its R1. There is the potential for it to roll back and get back down towards its daily pivot. They've got a high probability of being hit, so maybe that's on the cards there, but does overall, or was looking a bit soft. We had a divergence back here. Let's have a look at MACD. It's a bit smoother. Yeah, so there's a divergence running across these highs. So it's just showing the strength coming out. And if you look at the price action, I mean, when you get these dips, that's what causes the divergence. It's just the weakness in between. And you just see that weakness just it's slowing down of that after that really solid move there. So maybe, as I say, get a bit more of a correction. Canadian dollar. Canadian dollar has been holding up pretty well. Just struggling a little bit where it is now. It's finding some support and charging back up as I look at it at the moment. Just wonder if that's going to continue softening there. But it's this is the US dollar obviously getting stronger here. A push back above this sort of 23.70 area, around this area, these highs here, would certainly be more bullish for the US dollar, a little bit bearish for the Canadian dollar at the moment. Bigger picture, I'm quite bearish on the USCAD, but it doesn't mean to say it's going to stand in the way of a retrace, and it just looks like it's hanging in there. It's got the hammer yesterday, just looking like, well, maybe it's going to have another push to the upside there, divergence across the lows. Just that softening, and you can see the way it's rallying at the moment, the dollar strength coming through, and maybe we'll just see a bit more correction to the upside. New Zealand dollar. So New Zealand dollar still pushing up there. So again, one of the, if not the strongest at times, one of the strongest. It's been pushing up quite well again. Bit of divergence kicking through now. We're sort of just seeing a sort of a bit of maybe a bit of exhaustion, but post 8 o'clock, and we're just getting into that area. Maybe things will change a little bit here, and we'll see more upside. Okay, let's just have a look at across on the 4-hourly picture, from a 4-hourly picture of some of the cross pairs I'm looking at this. So normally the euro yen, just seeing what's going on there. Well, that's been pushing up pretty strong, just a bit soft at the moment. Again, just looks, as I said, with the yen moving the same way as the euro, in other words, on the chart wise, but the yen is actually strengthening here, and the euro is just rolling back a little bit. Maybe it'll break its trend that's running up there again. Well, actually there wasn't any divergence over the highs there, so we'll see. As I say, as we've just broken 8 o'clock, just at this stage it's a key area whether it will get a bit of a grip on here and turn around and can continue its push up. I prefer to be on the long side on it, but patience at this stage is basically what I'm saying. For those that want to short on it, well, there's a pivot's just below, it's not very far, it may just find support into that area. So if you're sort of selling, well, yep, it can go cut through it, but it just may find the support there. Right, okay, other pairings I've been regularly looking at, EURUSD for example, just come down here, just consolidating where it is at the moment. I was looking to it as an add-in at some stage, but it's just the consolidation around here. Maybe it's the way it's sort of high lows, high highs. Maybe it wants to push up higher, but I'm just hanging in there for now. If it starts breaking down, I'll be adding to my position on the short side. But you see the bigger picture, it's been down for quite some time. A bit of consolidation is almost needed to give it a bit of a breather before maybe it will continue its route. Right, okay, that's most of the majors there and the cross pairs I wanted to look at. Let's just have a look at gold. So gold, I said yesterday, it's sort of continuing up, and you see this in the mornings. It seems that gold gets a bit favoured and then rolls back in the afternoon. Well, it's certainly doing that at the moment. It's still edging up at the moment. So as I say, safety with the inflation, and maybe it's just opportunities. Don't be buying it in the afternoon. It seems to be selling back each afternoon. Right, okay, it's gold. Oil. So yesterday oil holding up pretty well, so off this morning, just rolling back a little bit here, doubling top, but just again lower high just coming through. And this will have its effect on the likes of the Canadian dollar. The commodity currencies get affected when the commodities themselves are sold off a little bit, and this is just looking at a little bit weaker than what we've seen lately. A bit more correction maybe, but I will only trade this after 2 o'clock in the afternoons. It's difficult some of these days to do so. Yesterday 2 o'clock was selling, I'm only wanting to be buying, so nothing for me. It did actually go eventually later on, but not from an easy position or signal or anything like that setting up there. So wasn't in that one, but it did pitch up quite nicely back into the prior highs. It's often all I look for is a move back to the prior highs or an R1 or something for the day. But say quite a messy day yesterday. It might all turn around. We've still got the weekly pivot just below us here at 81.51, and that might be just good enough to give us a bit of support later this morning, and then I can look around for this afternoon to see if we get anything in the way of a bounce. But as I said, with that lower high in it does look a little bit more shaky at this stage. Right, you see the sort of movements you get off the weekly pivots. There you go. Just sort of such a nice move. It sort of came back from that previously. I mean, it's been pushing up so strongly. Sometimes when it's pulling back towards its pivot, well, it's not even making it, but it is slowing down where it is now. There is pressure from the US starting to appear and things like this to reduce the pricing. Okay, that's the commodities. Let's switch charts now and just flick over, catch the indices overnight. Then the Hong Kong CSI 300 index just not really going anywhere at the moment. It's just consolidation. I'm just waiting to see if it breaks off south still. The Nikkei gapped up, negative day in the end, but it's still higher than it closed the previous day, so it's sort of trying there. This morning the FTSE just pushing up a little. Oh no, it's pulled back now. Just coming off now then. So just coming off. FTSE DAX same. I'm sort of more bearish on the DAX. If you wanted, if I was looking to sell one of these, maybe the FTSE's just that little bit holding up a little bit stronger, looking just that little bit better. The CAC, so we'll look at the CAC. It's just selling off a little bit more. So yeah, these a little bit soft this morning. S&Ps again, but yesterday, look at that, pushing up, not far off the all-time highs again. I was quite bearish on this. I didn't really want to be buying it. Still don't really want to be buying it, but that's what the market's doing at the moment. So I'm standing clear of this. I wanted to be a seller, and I was looking for reversals, but nothing really coming for me on that at the moment. So you're seeing the US markets here just recovering. With the dollar getting a bit stronger today, maybe we'll see that come off a little bit more as money's coming away from equities into the dollar. US NASDAQ there, the US 100. For most of you on your brokerages, again, just easing back at the moment, and the Dow or US 30 again, just running it back into, and these are sort of all-time highs. You've got to remember that it's so close. So maybe just for now the track is still on the upside, but there we are. I'm say sitting on my hands. I'm seeing what the big money's doing. The big money's been coming out, but may be changing its mind a little bit here. But as inflation pushes on and interest rates look more inevitable, I think you might see this this market eventually roll over, but maybe not yet. Okay, that's it for me there. Oh, crypto, sorry, beg your pardon. Before I miss out what's going on there. So crypto, Bitcoin, it's the only one really I'm looking at now. So yesterday Bitcoin took another push up. As I said, we get these sort of consolidation phases, and off it goes again, and there it is. It's the only one that's really pushing up that strong at the moment. The others, well, look, Ethereum pushed up yesterday, but not managing to make new highs or anything, just in its consolidation phase. And Ripple, again, it's really not doing too much. So a lot of these other coins just consolidated. It really is Bitcoin's day at the moment, and it's, as I say, it is moving pretty well. We switch this back to a weekly, see a bit more, and you see we're near enough at the all-time highs here, so not far away, which makes me think, well, perhaps. And I've looked at the extensions of these movements, and yeah, we could easily run 65, 68, but would I buy here? No. It's too much risk when it's as it's shaped here. That doesn't mean to say will it not continue, but I just think it's the riskiest place to be buying. So anyway, that's it, pretty much it for me for the day. I wish you a great day's trading, and I will catch you tomorrow morning. Bye for now.